Oh my
All
gosh.
right. Hey guys, welcome to our team call. We have 3 of us who will be covering the topic of challenge groups tonight. So I'm excited to see you guys here. Challenge groups are the bread and butter of your business. As I'm sure you know, many of you may have started in a challenge group, or you're in a challenge group right now, or you've been in a couple of challenge groups, but maybe you haven't ran one of your own yet. So today we're going to be giving you different tips for hosting effective challenge groups. You'll hear from 3 of us. We do things very differently, so it'll be a great way for you to kind of pick and choose the things you want to implement and the things that maybe you don't. And it'll be something that, you don't have to completely change everything that you're doing if you're already running a challenge group, but it's good to hear how other people are doing it and how they're making it work. So did we have a certain order of how we wanted to share or no? Did you want to start, April? Or no?
No, that's fine. Sorry, I was muted. That's fine. I am super not a PowerPoint or presentation kind of person. I always am just kind of like, so I apologize if you need any specifics after, just shoot me a message. But I mainly run my challenge groups through Facebook. With 80 Day Obsession, we finally did start an official challenge tracker app, and it's been going really great. But I still love my Facebook groups. That's kind of my jam. So I know Carolyn rocks her challenge tracker app, and it's, for me, I feel like my life probably would be simpler if I loved the challenge tracker app, because it's easier to kind of like separate, I feel, for time management. But we're shifting over there. But I really love the engagement that I get personally. My Facebook challenge groups get more engagement than the app challenge groups. So what we do that has been most successful is we pair people up. So I'll make a post at the beginning of every challenge group, and I'll say, hey, who needs a buddy? Drop a little bit about you below, and I'll tell them like basically what I'm looking for them, so it's not a novel long. And then I get them partnered up in groups of 2 or 3. I usually do 3 because chances are sometimes people flake out, and I don't want to constantly be repairing people. So I usually do small groups, and I kind of do pods. Kind of like how when you get a new coach, or you get a couple new coaches at the same time, or there's, you have some that are at the same level, I'll put them in a pod together and kind of reach out to them so we can kind of talk to things that are more specific than us. So I don't have, diamonds in one and new coaches in one where it's not applicable to them. I do that same thing with my challengers. So I kind of try to make a pod themselves. And then we'll find another virtual gym buddy. And I'll tell you a little bit about that in a sec, based off of what time they actually work out. So they're getting support in multiple different ways, which I really love, because it's more of a team community aspect that way. So the virtual gym buddy is, I pair you up depending on, different time zones, whatever. But so for me personally, I was a 5 a.m. workout girl. So me and my virtual gym buddy, who is one of my coaches, we would get on our Zoom together and share screen, and we were actually doing the same workout. So, and then, it's really cool because 1, it sucks to get up that early to work out, but 2, you have somebody else to talk to keep you accountable, we're like swearing to each other the whole time. We're like, oh my God, this sucks so bad, just having conversations. So misery loves company. So it has been seriously game changing, because guys, I try to get up for 4 months at 5. I'm a new mom. And I could not do it. I would set my alarm every day for 4 months or something. Ask my husband. He hated it. He knew I was just going to snooze and sleep in. And it was not until I had to meet with Greg and I knew he was waiting. I actually took it one step further, and he actually gives me a hotel wake-up call every morning. I make him call me to wake me up, and it's beautiful because I would not go get up regardless on days that he, if he ever, goes into work late, so sleeps in or something like that. I literally was not waking up without him. I tell him all the time, I'm like, Greg, I cannot do this without you. Even though my body is used to getting up, I have no motivation to do it, and I will go right back to sleep because I can sleep anytime. I really love that. And so that's the most important thing for me, is to get that accountability to my challengers. So that has been game changing, not only for me. so much that he got a new job and has to be out the door by like 6 or something like that. So now I push play with him at 4 a.m. and it's bizarre. So now I'm like struggling to be here even after 8 o'clock. So I apologize. So, but yeah, that's been definitely the biggest game changer. The other thing that we do is, either photo of the day challenges. I do different things every month. I know Carolyn's really big into that. And not necessarily always having to post on their personal page, but just in the check-in. So it's not like post your study selfie here, post your shake here. It's we try to keep it different. I did one that was a total anxiety and stress related challenge group where we were totally all doing our workouts and talking about it and checking in. But the main focus was, what did you do for, self-love today? And we did a pay it forward challenge at the same time. So we're kind of helping ourselves out and paying it forward. So, whatever type of things that I'm feeling my challengers are talking about. And I like to try to do like a Friday check-in where I'm like, I don't want to talk about workouts. I don't want to talk about nutrition. I want to talk about what's going on in your life right now and how we can help you. And so I try to see what kind of things that I'm seeing when I have people comment, and then try to see how I can tailor it to that. So that's where that came from. The whole, 3 or 4 weeks was just about self-love and stress techniques and things like that, but not just a copy paste kind of thing. Outside of your, go on Google and copy and paste it. I really took my time to put it into it because it was something that was so near and dear to my heart that I knew would help me if it was something that I actually really wanted to do with them. And I think that that's the most important thing. Don't do things just for the sake of, trying to get people to post a sweaty selfie or things like that. I want you to, dig deep and see, are they doing that for you because you're asking it for them? Or is there something more beneficial that they could still be checking in, but feeling like they're having a little bit more benefit? I was feeling stale with post your breakfast, post your lunch, post your dinner. So I kind of dove into that to kind of make it more of a community, and the results were pretty epic because I definitely feel like people are more close-knit and want to talk about stuff outside of fitness, which for me is probably the best thing, is that somebody's coming you for fitness and nutrition and they, have this relationship with you that they want to talk about their life and they want to talk about these things just like a friend. So that's all I got.
No, that was great. And I kind of do the buddy thing too, but I think it's a little bit different than what you do. So I'm going to kind of touch on that a little bit as well. But I like that you really tailor it to what they need and what your challengers are looking for. And it makes them want to participate more because it's something that they actually want to be a part of. So I like that a lot. Do you do one ongoing group or do you change it every month? That was just one question that I had.
I have been doing ongoing, and I just change the banner and the name every month. I start them new every once in a while, though. I probably don't go more than definitely less than a year, but it's usually 6 to 8 months. I'll start a new group, so I make sure that the people that are there want to be there, kind of thing.
Okay, yeah, because it can get so big so fast if you just never go. I think Ashley has a question. You can ask.
Okay, this is easier. So I'm wondering, because I'm new and I've never done this before, I've been doing Beachbody for 10 years.
Oh.
When I joined challenge groups way back then, it was a new group for everything. It was a new face group every span of a workout. And they always picked, it was one workout and everybody did that workout. Joined my challenge group for T25, joined my challenge group for whatever. You didn't get to pick what you wanted to do. I'm noticing a difference now. And that the challenge group I joined with Emmy before I became a coach, there was people doing several different workouts, and there was people doing what I was doing too. But I liked that. But then also some workouts are 8 weeks, some workouts are 6 weeks, some are 21 days, So I guess I'm wondering how y'all handle that part of it. And do you keep, if you're starting a new challenge group every 2 weeks or every whatever that period of time is, are you just adding new people into that same group? That's my question. A lot of questions.
Go ahead and tell her what you do, Carolyn, and if mine's any different, then I can touch on it.
Well, I have an ongoing group. Mine's on the app. And as far as like the program, I don't tell people what program to do. I recommend a program based on what they tell me. I have them fill out this form when they sign up that asks them like what their goals are, what they're looking to achieve, how much time they have that they can use for their workout, and also like what kind of workouts they like. And I list like all different types of, you know, HIIT workouts, cardio, weights, yoga, Pilates, like dance. I list them all out and they check off all the ones that apply. So then what I normally do, I give them 3 recommendations. I say, awesome. I text them immediately when I get there. Well, not immediately, but within the day. I say, hey, I just got your form. I'm really excited to help you. And I say whatever their goals are so they know that I actually read it. And then I say, based on what your responses are to this form, what I recommend for you to check out are, and I'll list the 3 programs. I'll list them in the order of like what I really think they should start with, and then like based on what they're saying. It's usually 21 Day Fix. And then if they, let's say they said they like to, you know, do kickboxing, then I might say check out Core de Force. But I would always say whatever I think they should definitely start with first, I tell them that one first. And they usually end up starting with 21 Day Fix or something that's a little bit more beginner. But I don't make them all do the same program, because everyone's goals are different. Everyone has different time and everyone likes different things. So that's how I kind of base off like what they're going to get, because everyone nowadays signs up with the All Access anyway. So they get all of them. And I feel like if you don't tell them which one they should start with, or you don't give them a recommendation of like, maybe you should start with at least one of these, then they're lost because there's so many, and then they'll just be doing random workouts. And we know that doesn't work. So that's how I do mine. As far as the length of the group, I have an ongoing group. What I'm actually in the process of doing now is taking that ongoing group and having that as my, you know, just my support community. And then I also have 2 monthly challenges every month for those people who want that extra level of like, all right, I'm going to do this challenge. I'm going to earn points. I'm going to earn prizes and things like that, because I find I have some people who like that. And then I have some people who just would rather like just check in their workout and their shake and they're good. Like they don't need the extra add-ons, but then I have a lot of people who like the extra stuff. So that's what I'm doing now. I actually just sent out an email to all of my customers and told them about my 2 challenges, and I asked them to pick if they wanted to be in the one that starts on the 5th or the 19th, and I'm just going to fill them that way every month. And then after that, you know, they can go into the other group if they want to take a break, or let's say they're going on vacation for 2 weeks and they're not going to be able to fully participate in that challenge, but they still want to have accountability. They can check into that other group, and then when they want to take the challenge, they can go into the like challenge that I have each month. So that's what I'm doing currently. I used to just do one group, and every week I would add the new friends, and I would make a post and say, welcome new friends. These are our new friends. And then they would just every week, like as new people came in, they would get a buddy, and that's how I would do it that way. But I'm in the transition period at the moment to have the 2 separate types of groups. Does that help, or did I just confuse you? I think you're muted.
She said it was very helpful in the chat.
Oh, okay. I think she like tried to unmute herself and I muted her because I was trying to unmute her at the same time. Pretty sure that's what happened.
Oh, there it goes. Okay. Yeah, that's very helpful. I'm seeing there's several different ways you can do it. So that gives me good ideas.
Yeah, there's no right or wrong way. That's the thing with challenge groups. You know, you just do what works for you. And I've tried several different ways, and sometimes it gets stale, like April said, and you have to change it and you have to make an adjustment. Like I went on Facebook for a couple months, and then I liked that for a little bit. Then I realized I kind of missed the tracker more, so I went back to that. So it just really depends on what you like, and actually like what your people like, what they prefer, because that's important too. But I guess I'll go now, and then we'll end it with the fun stuff that Kristi's going to share. So basically the stuff that I was going to talk about is how to talk about coaching in your challenge group, and how to really convert challengers to coaches, how to recognize your challengers within your group. And I'll touch on the buddy system, but not a lot, because April really kind of covered that basically. So one of the things that's important in your challenge group is that you're inviting your challengers to be coaches. if you're not inviting them, they're not going to know that they can be a coach. I know it sounds silly, but they don't know that. Like they can't see themselves as a coach, or they don't realize that they just have to pay $40 and get it reimbursed. Like they just don't know. And I've talked to some like coaches that are awesome top coaches, and they're like, yeah, my coach never asked me. I didn't even know that I could be a coach, and I kind of found out on my own, you know? So you don't want that to happen. You want them to know. So some things that I do in my challenge groups, if there's an event coming up, if we have a sneak peek coming up, if we have a blitz coming up, if we have a webinar or anything, I post about it in the challenge group. Like I'll say, hey, if you guys are interested, we're having this event, and I'll post it in there. And I put the link and I have them request to join. So it's like on them. If they want to pop in, they can. I don't add them to it. I make them take the initiative because I don't want to be adding people to things. Another thing that I do that's been working pretty well is when I check in with my Shakeology or my workout, I check in as a coach jab. And I don't do it every day because that would be annoying. But like a couple times a week, like when I got my 80-day obsession tank top and I got my 80-day obsession mat, I took a picture of my shake in front, like with those things. And I was like, oh, cool. By the way, check out this awesome swag I got for helping 3 of you guys get healthy. And I posted that as my shake check-in because my shake was in the picture. Something else I do sometimes, I'll take a picture of me with my shake and I'm like planning out my week. And I'll say Sundays are rest days. It's also the day I plan out my week. I plan out my posts. I plan out, you know, who I'm going to have calls with. So I'm showing them the business without like blasting it in their face. I'm kind of like throwing it in there. And I don't do that every day because that would get annoying, but I try to do it a lot throughout the week, at least 3 or 4 times. And also anytime I have someone who becomes a coach, I post their new coach, like welcome new coach photo in my challenge group, if they're in the challenge group, to welcome them as a new coach. And that kind of gets people's like buzzing, like, oh, what's that? Like, how is she a coach? Like, I want to be a coach. And they all comment and they're like, congratulations, that's awesome. I also do weekly shout outs. So Saturdays are shout out days. So if anyone became a coach that week, I'll shout them out for paying it forward and becoming a coach. And I've noticed that some of the other girls are starting to do that too. They're like, oh, congrats to so-and-so for becoming a coach. So it's kind of cool to see them recognizing other people stepping forward too. I also share the discount, but I don't lead with that. I don't post about that quite often. Like I don't say, oh, and if you want a discount on your shakes, you can be a coach. But it's not something to hide. But that's not the only way I present it, if that makes sense. Like I don't just say the only reason you should be a coach is to get the discount. I share all of the other things, and then I kind of the last thing is like, oh yeah, and you can also get a discount. So when I make their post, I'll be like, oh, congratulations to Robin for becoming a coach. And I'll explain like, oh, she started getting awesome results. She wanted to pay it forward. That 25% off discount isn't too bad either. Like something kind of sliding it in there. So if they're actually reading it, they'll see it. And if they're not, then they're not going to notice it. So that's how I kind of talk about coaching within the challenge group without being so obvious about like blasting it in there. Something else that I do is I recognize people for other things and not just their workouts and their shakes. So I have some examples. I can show them to you. I posted them in the roundtable, so you've probably seen these, April. But I have different categories that I recognize people for because I do top challenger of the week. But sometimes I'll also do like weekend warriors. So people who logged in a workout or a shake at least once over the weekend, because we all know how hard it is to do that. My early birdies, if they checked in before 8 a.m., no excuse ninjas are 7 for 7 for the whole week. The dedicated divas are 5 for 5 the whole week. Stellar stars are for the full month. And believe it or not, I literally had this many people log a shake or a workout like every single day. They never missed in a whole month. It was awesome. Comeback kids are people who have fallen off. And then I realized that, oh, they're back. They checked in like at least twice or 3 times this week. That's great. I put them on the comeback kids. And then the best buds are the coaches, like the buddies that are always tagging their buddy, because that's how I do the buddy thing. I just pair them up as a buddy and I make them tag their buddy when they check in. And then the week 1 dynamo is people who logged in at least 5 times in their first week. And I do these weekly. I mean, the weekend ones I do on the weekends. These I do weekly, and I post them in the comments of the top challenger posts so that I recognize the top challenger, but I'm also recognizing all of the other people who kicked butt this week as well. And I think that's about it, because the buddy system we kind of talked about. So I just like it because it builds friendships like outside of the group. And I've had some of them say to me like, oh my God, I'm so thankful for my buddy. It's so awesome that I have like another friend. Some of them are like in another country and they're best friends and best buds and they're like talking all the time. And it's so cool to see how like you can help somebody make a friend just by pairing them up and having them hold each other accountable. So that's all that I had to share. If anyone had any questions for me, I can answer those, and then we can move on to what Kristi has to share.
I have a quick question. So with the challenge tracker app, I hate that you can't run like a report and you have to like manually count it. Are you manually counting all of those things?
What, the daily things?
The trackers, like for when you have to create that, because there's not a way to run a report yet.
No, there's not. But they did change it in the back where you can do it from like date to date. So it's not the whole length of the group. So if you wanted just like today's, you could do, Kristi just taught me this, you can do like 226 to 226 and it would only show that day.
Okay.
That makes sense?
Yeah, no, that does. Are you delegating that out or are you doing that yourself?
I'm just doing it in the morning. It doesn't take that long in the morning.
Okay.
Like after my personal development, I do that and then I walk the dog. That's when I do it. So. Okay, any other questions? We got some ideas that we can start implementing. Okay. All right, now I'm going to pass it over to Kristi. It's going to wow you with her mystical magic.
It is magical.
I know.
So,
I'm excited.
you don't know, I'm Kristi. I have been here for 2 years and I got really freaking bored with challenge groups. Like, I've had many tank, and it's going to happen to you, and you can't beat yourself up about it, but it got very boring for me. I was doing the normal everyday challenge groups. I did the photo a day groups. I did the themes for like the summer and the winter and the fall and Valentine's Day and love and all this stuff. And it was just not something that excited me anymore. I did really well when I first became a coach just because it was all new and I was like, this is so much fun. And then it was just becoming repetitive. So I got this idea from someone in my mastermind group that I have with corporate, and I kind of took it on my own wing and ran with it. So now all of my groups have something to do with something that I love. So the group that actually ends tomorrow, and it's been running for the last 30 days, is by far the best group I've ever ran in my 2 years of being a coach, ever. I even have challengers in this group that have been with me since I've started, and they've said the same thing. So the group is Harry Potter, and that's why she said magic. But there's even people in the group that know nothing about Harry Potter. They've never watched any of the books or the movies, and that blows my mind, but that's besides the point. They're still doing amazing, and they're still having fun because it's not just about that. It's about the fact that I kind of have my own buddy system too, I guess, only I divide everybody up into teams. So for Harry Potter, like I have all my groups planned out for the whole year. I have Harry Potter, Game of Thrones, Lord of the Rings, Grey's Anatomy. Like I have all these things planned out for the whole year, all of my groups. And every single group, I have teams built up into them. So Harry Potter, it had all of the houses. There's Gryffindor and Slytherin. Well, there's Slytherin. They're all weird fun names. So there's Gryffindor, Slytherin, Ravencurl. So there's all these different names. And I had a sorting hat ceremony. If you're weird and you know what I'm talking about, I sorted all of my challengers into houses. And after I was done with that, I then plugged all of those people into a Facebook chat thread. So I run all of my groups on the Challenge Tracker app. That's all I've ever known. When I became a coach was the month that they released it, and Carolyn got to test it out because she was premier. So that's all I've ever known. I tried to run on Facebook because my groups were tanking, and I thought that I was the problem, and it was me, not the app, not Facebook. It was me. It was just my heart wasn't in it anymore, and they were boring to me. And if they're boring to you, they're going to be boring to your challengers. They're going to feed off of your energy, and they're not going to show up, and they're not going to care. So I started this up again, and it's just a whole different world for me, even though it's Harry Potter. And I really believe that the buddy system, I can call it that, my teams are what is changing everything. And I've had people in here that say that because and I have a point system too, and I'm a crazy spreadsheet person. So I have a crazy spreadsheet that I keep track of everything on. And every single day and every single week, everybody competes as a team to win the day or to win the week. And every day I have a Canva graphic that I created that has all of the houses with all of the people in each house. And my spreadsheet calculates the house points. So there are individual points and there's house points. And the individual points only matter for the end of the month because I have a grand prize winner. But the house points accumulate to decide which house wins for the week. So even if I have 35 people in my challenge group and 20 of them do amazing and no one misses a beat, if not every single person in that house does really well, then even though that person did amazing, their house failed. So it's just a way to keep it competitive. It's a really competitive environment, and everybody's literally checking in on the Facebook group thread daily. Like, did you check your stuff in? Did you log your stuff? Hey, there's a bonus today. Make sure you get this. Hey, there's this. Hey, there's that. And none of these people know each other outside of this. There's a couple, but like, I didn't care if they were friends with this person and this person. Like, I didn't put them together. They got sorted where they got sorted. And if it happened, it happened. But if you didn't know anybody in your house, you had to make friends. Like, that's just how life is. And it's become this amazing community of people. My group starting on Monday is Alice in Wonderland. And they are so excited for this group to start. And we're sorting them into Team Alice and the Mad Hatter, and I haven't decided if there's going to be a White Rabbit because all of my Team Cup ladies are starting a group, and then I have to put all of my current challengers into a group too, and I'm not going to merge them all together because that's just too many. But it's just so much fun, and it's so exciting, and it's exciting for me, so that feeds out into them. And I bought all of these Harry Potter prizes on Amazon. They're like so cheap. I bought like a decal. It said always, but it was in all of the Harry Potter style. I bought necklaces, the grand prize, which I have reveal tomorrow. I bought these Harry Potter makeup brushes. Like, it wasn't expensive stuff. I think I spent $50 for the whole 30-day group. And people love it. People love free stuff. They love competing. They love helping each other. And it's just, I don't know. That's changed for me. And I don't know if you want me to show. I mean, I don't really need to show you what Facebook looks like. But I also, I renamed each group on the Facebook chat threads the name of their house. So instead of it saying Tara, Ashley, Katie, Molly, whatever, it says Raven Curl, or it says Griffith Door, or whatever the fun name was for it. And I changed the colors to match the color of the house. And I made it fun, and it was different. And it's by far I'm not reading these comments because I'm like squirrel, and I'll read them when I'm done. But it's by far the most engaging, the most exciting, and the most fun group I've ever had. And I think it's because it's something different. And it's called the Ministry of Muscles. And it's just, there's a play on words in a lot of different ways. And there's daily accountability posts within the group that are all Harry Potter themed. So one of the daily posts was herbology, which is a class at Hogwarts, but I asked them how they made their shake for the day. Or one was Quidditch practice, but I asked them what their favorite move from their workout was that day. Like, it's all centered around the theme of the group. And so you kind of have to get a little creative, and you can brainstorm with other people, but it's really fun. And that's about all I have. I will take any questions. Actually, I'm going to read the comments, but I'll take questions too.
Yeah, it really allows you to use your creativity. I mean, if, like she said, if you're not having fun, nobody is having fun. If your challenge groups aren't fun for you and you're using the same posts that you used last month and you're just recycling it, then it's not fun. And yeah, it's going to take some work, creating that content. But when you do that and you really take the time to make something that you're proud of, you're really excited about it, and people feed off that energy, like she said, and people know that, you know, you took the time to create this for them, and they want to show up for you, and they want to participate because it's something that is fun. And I also have mine all planned out for the year too, because once you do one, you're like, oh, what else can I do? What else can I do? What else can I do? So all mine are planned out too, for the whole year. And it's been more fun. And I'm actually trying out her team thing for my next group that's starting on the 5th. I'm doing bridesmaids because I'm getting married in April. So I'm doing the bridesmaids movie, and everyone is on like Team Becca, Team Annie, Team Megan, like all the bridesmaids. So I'm going to try it out, and I'm going to see how it goes. I'm already excited, and it hasn't even started, and all of the girls are excited because it's different and it's fun. And like, I've done Mean Girls, I've done, you know, chick flicks, I've done all of that kind of stuff, but I've never tried the team thing. So I'm excited to try that out and see how different that makes the experience. Because I told them I'm putting them on teams, and they're all like, wait, what? That's so cool. And I haven't even done it yet. So that should be fun. Does anyone have questions for any of us? I know this was a super short call, but I feel like it had a lot of value to it, and it gave you guys a lot of ideas of things that you can implement in your challenge groups. Just the biggest takeaway, I'm sure, is just to make sure it's fun and make sure it's adding value, and it's not just like post your food, post your shake, boring every day. April. Baby grandma. All right, no other questions? We're good? All right, and you know that every challenge group that I do, all of the materials are in the drive. So if you want to run a Mean Girls group, all that stuff is in the drive. Like if you want to run a chick flicks group, all of my content is in the drive. So that's not to say that you have to use it, but you can if you want to, or you can take it and make it your own. You know, we did a 90s group. That was fun, 90s theme group. You could take that and make it your own. But it's good to know that all that stuff is there. I don't know if everybody knew that. So
I also just want to throw in, like, I'm sure you know this, but how important challenge groups are. Like I've been a coach for 2 years, and I've had a group every single month, whether or not it was a good group or not. I've never not had one, because if you don't have a challenge group, you have nothing to invite to. You have nothing to really talk. I mean, unless you're only talking to people who could be coaches. I try to get my coaches from my challenge groups. I don't normally sign people up right away as coaches. So if I don't have a challenge group running, or if I don't have a solid date, because the whole like ongoing group did not work for me at all. That was one that failed for me because it was just boring and not exciting, and it wasn't something new. Even if I changed the theme up, it just didn't work for me. So if there's not a start date and an end date for me, it didn't work. Like I needed something to be able to invite to, something that had a deadline, because when I had the ongoing group, people could order whenever they wanted. I didn't really have like you have to order by this date so you have your stuff in time. It was like, okay, if you order here, I'll throw you in on Sunday. Oh, you want to wait till next week? That's fine. I'll throw you in next Sunday. Like it just didn't work for me. It didn't create the urgency in myself to actually keep following up with people and keep messaging people, because they're really the bread and butter of your business. If you have challenge groups, they're so much fun. That's where you develop your coaches. That's where you develop your leaders. That's where you change lives everywhere, because that's where it happens. It's just, you have to have something. And I've been running groups. My very first month as a coach, it was terrifying, but I did it. And you just keep going. And like Carolyn said, I didn't reinvent the wheel. I used a lot of the challenge group templates that we have in the Google Drive. And then I started coming up with my own. You don't have to, if this is your first month as a coach, or if this is your first call, like don't be scared. There's all the resources that you can even imagine for you, but you should definitely do one, or at least run one with your coach, and then the next one, run one on your own, but don't continue to piggyback off of your coach, because you'll never become your own leader if you don't run your own. That's all. I'm done.
good point. That's a great way to end this call. All right, before we go, does anyone have any last minute questions they didn't get to ask? No, so we're all going to run awesome challenge groups from now on. Yeah. All right. Well, we will see you guys next week. I'll be posting the new calendar. It'll have the new calls and everything on there in a couple of days, so you can see what you have to look forward to. But this was a great month. We had a lot of awesome content, great speakers, and all of that. And I'm going to try to keep that up. So thanks for hopping on and taking time out of your night to be here with us. We appreciate it. Thanks, April, for hopping on to our call as well. And have an awesome night. Bye.